Okay, folks, good evening, and we'll open up the meeting of July, 13th zoning meeting, Painesville Township. We'll welcome everybody, and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Richard, did we get any commentary from the public for this meeting?
We did not.
Okay, then I'll skip that and call the meeting to order. And roll call, please.
Sorry. We have Amy.
Here.
John.
Here.
Daryl.
Here.
Bailey.
Here.
And Chairman.
Here. Okay, we're all here. Okay, we have minutes of the June 8th meeting was sent out to everybody. I hope everybody had a chance to take a look at them. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing no correction from anyone, entertain a motion for approval of the June 8th minutes.
So moved. Daryl.
Okay, Daryl made the motion. Anybody second it?
I'll second.
That's Amy.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion made by Daryl and seconded by Amy. Any questions? If not, roll call, please. On the motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. Amy.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Daryl.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Chairman.
Yes. Okay, thank you, folks. Now I will open up a public hearing for a new section 11.01G. Did we receive any from this new section? Did we get any correspondence from the Planning Commission, Lake County Planning Commission?
There has been correspondence. This is Rich Constantine speaking. There has been correspondence from the Planning Commission recommended that this zoning text change be made.
Okay. And staff, could you explain, to the board again, why we should add this section to section 11?
This is simply to make it clear to the public that a permit is required to demolish a building which is being torn down and not being replaced immediately on a property.
Okay. Did we get any comment from the public about this, or against? Richard. Okay, hearing silence, I'm assuming that we received no comments from the public, either pro or con, for this text amendment. Anybody on the commission have any questions for Richard or for the staff, that matter, or about this section? Okay, then if there's no comment about the section, I'll entertain a motion to either continue the public hearing or close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
That'd be fine.
But by phone, I can't get the computer to do it.
Well, this question, is it pertaining to the public hearing issue, which is a new section added to 11.01 section G? Yep.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I'll entertain a motion. If the board has no other comments or concerns to the staff or to us, hearing none,
Hey,
then I would
Ted.
entertain a motion for each. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hey, Ted, it's
Okay.
Bailey. Should we just maybe
Okay.
do the next
Okay,
agenda
Harvey,
real
thank you.
quick and then come back and do a
Okay.
motion to close this one and give the person on the live stream time to ask the question if
Okay.
they have one?
You want to, we could, okay, council, we're in this public hearing now. So what do we do? Since we have a situation with a technical glitch, are we all right to keep it open until we may come back to it? Or what?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
then go
tell you
ahead.
what, why don't we do this? Why don't we either continue the public hearing or close the public hearing with a motion, and then we can go to his question before we go to new business. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, that works. So I'll make a motion
Okay,
to close the public hearing.
Okay, I have a motion to close the public hearing. Do I hear a second?
I'll second. It's
Okay,
Amy.
Amy second. Okay, then, Secretary, roll call please on the motion to close the public hearing for a new section 11.01G.
Okay. John,
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman.
Yes. Okay, motion is approved, and the public hearing for section 11.01G is now closed. Can we go back to Mr. Bates' question? Or do we have to wait for more time?
Sean, did you say his question was not related to this?
Well, Sean, well, if he has a specific question to ask us, there's a time frame he can do that with. And but if he has a specific question, he can ask us now. Is it on something we are discussing today? Or yeah, that or another topic he wants to talk about. No problem.
I have been working with Mr. Bates. If this is in regards to the situation that we've discussed, the appropriate place would be with either Rich or myself. I'll reach out to Mr. Bates via email and inquire.
That sounds good.
Council, can we move?
Sorry. I'm going to reach out to Mr. Bates via email. I have his email address. We have correspondence. There is a zoning violation that he has had concern with. And I sent him an email today, I believe, updating him on the situation. So I'm not sure if that is the topic that he is wishing to discuss. And I'm not sure if he is proposing a text amendment due to his concern regarding this zoning violation. So I can't really say whether or not it's appropriate for him to approach the zoning commission with his concerns unless I know for certain whether or not it's related to him proposing a text amendment change that he would like to discuss.
Okay, and Councilman, can we move on or should we wait?
No, we can move on.
Okay, then we'll move on then. Okay, great, thank you. Under new business, we have an architectural review at 970 Riverside Drive. It's an accessory building, and I will let, if the applicant is here on at the meeting, I'd like he or she to make a presentation to the board at this point in time.
Well, I want to put up a shed. It's pre-manufactured, and we're going to use it to store a lot of the paper products that we use in our restaurant. And I'd like it right outside the back door. It'll be more convenient, keep the inside space clean. And it's a nice looking shed.
Is this Mr. Ribeiro talking?
Yes.
Okay, please state, when you talk, sir, please state your name, address, I'm sorry. Okay. Is it already on the is the building already on the premise or not?
Yes.
Okay. Anything more you'd like to say to the board?
No, I mean, it's already made, so I didn't have to build anything, just dropped it off, and, you know, it's just a place to put paper products and stuff in.
Gotcha. Okay. Anybody, okay. Anybody from the, okay, let's just hear from the staff now. Staff report.
Okay, this is Rich. I'm gonna chime in. Folks, this is a kind of a ticklish situation. The property is zoned B2. That is one of our business commercial district classifications. We have certain rules and regulations regarding buildings and structures and building spacing. There is a 20-foot building separation requirement in a B2 zoning district. Also, for a small shed like this, which some small business properties may consider a small business an extension of a residential property. However, one of the advantages of having business classification for zoning offers the ability to do commercial retail business on a property whereas a residential property does not have that right to do that. So the placement of this building on the property prior to the approval by this board of an architectural review is probably not a good thing. We do have the building separation, which would require a variance by the Board of Zoning Appeals, which is possible and even probable that the Board of Zoning Appeals would grant that. But we have these procedural things. And I'm going to say and go on the record that it's a shame on the township, but for a small building like this, for us to require not necessarily the architectural review, but if this gets approved, we would have to require a zoning certificate for construction to be issued, which in a commercial zoning district is a minimum $500 zoning permit fee. And for a like 200 to 300, 400 square foot utility shed might be construed to be a little bit disproportionate. That's the township's problem, but that's where we're at right now. So, you know, we have a couple problems to hash out. I think we need to ask the applicant if there's a possibility that shed could be moved 20 feet away from the main building, or if he would rather pursue a commercial variance to keep it closer.
Well, this is John Roberto again. Well, the problem is right behind the building where it's going to be most convenient for us because, like I said, we're going to go in and out of there to grab pizza boxes and, you know, ice cream cups and things like that often. If we go back any further, there's a natural sluice, I think it's called, a natural dip in there that sends the water a certain way. So I can't go back that far. I'd have to go back even farther into the woods. And then it's not very convenient because then we have to track all the snow and everything back in and out and deal with the weather conditions.
Okay, this is Rich commenting, and John, listen. I am taking what you're saying to heart, and in my mind, as the zoning inspector, it makes a lot of sense. However, it's not the zoning inspector's call. If you're proposing to do something on a commercial property that does not meet our requirements, the only board or body of people in this township authorized to give you permission to do that would be the Board of Zoning Appeals. Not the zoning inspector, not the Board of Trustees, not the Zoning Commission, but this Board of Zoning Appeals. Because we have the requirement that for any new structure on a commercial property, you're required to do either a site plan review or an architectural review. Because your proposed project would not disturb more than an acre of ground, we can streamline this process to only do an architectural review rather than a full-blown site plan review. But the whole problem is the location of the building. I personally am not aware at this moment that the zoning commission would have any objection to the design of your shed, but the location simply does not comply with our requirement for a 20-foot building separation. I am sympathetic to your cause for a variance, but it's not my call. That would have to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals, which could be the case if the Zoning Commission believes that the design of your shed in principle fits the district and fits the property. And the only hangup is the particular location of the shed on the property. If they want to approve this subject to your acquiring a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals for the building separation, I think that would be, you know, a just handling of this case.
Okay.
Thanks, Richard. Any member have any comments or questions to the applicant or to Richard?
This is John. I don't think that I understand everything Rich is saying. I think we're trying to accommodate as much as we can. Do we have a choice other than to go to the zoning board of appeals? If we change one person and we really don't have that right to do under the zoning that it's presently zoned as, do we really have a choice? And if it has to go to the board of zoning appeals, does it cost something that would be astronomical, or time, would that be a problem?
I don't think so. I already went to the appeals or the variance thing. It would be the same thing as that I did for the sign.
You state you did go to the board of zoning appeals?
I've been there before for the sign.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think it was too bad. I can't remember what it cost, but I mean, we got to do what we got to do. I'm sorry. You know, it's just
That's to me, John, again, to me, that sounds like it's probably the best way to do it and still comply with the rules and regulations that we have already.
okay.
Somebody else may have a different opinion.
Mm-hmm. This is Rich again. Actually, yes, John has already secured a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals for his sign. The application fee for a commercial variance is $400, and we have to schedule a public hearing with the Board of Zoning Appeals. You know, from my perspective, I believe that John has a rationale and a need to have accessory storage close by his building, and because of the geography and topography of the particular site, there could be a justification that the Board of Zoning Appeals will recognize. So, but it's the proper procedure, you know. This is one of those cases where, in an area variance, it's strictly the governance of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Sometimes, if there is some confusion about the usage of a property, the zoning commission, through the architectural review and use review, can trump certain parts of the procedure. But this is strictly an area variance or an area violation, which can only be overturned by the Board of Zoning Appeals. So as long as our applicant is amenable to making application for the variance, I don't see that there would be a big issue if the zoning commission were to find that the architectural review is satisfactory, with the exception of satisfying the area building separation requirement.
Okay. So basically, Rich, what we're looking at is, okay, we have two issues. Issue number one is the building itself. It's pre-manufactured. It's already at the site. I have personally looked at that building and the pre-manufactured building, accessory building, and it does match the existing building. He's there. and it does not clash. It kind of mixes well with the surrounding area. So I think, as far as accessory is concerned, in my opinion, is that it meets the requirements, and it does it doesn't clash with the surrounding area, and it does kind of look the same as the main building. So as far as architecturally, what the accessory building looks like, it's in my opinion, looks acceptable. Only in my opinion, only. Yes, the other issue is definitely the separation between the main building and the accessory building. It's something that the applicant would have to have. If we approve this, it'd be on a condition to you get approval for the separation of the building by the Board of Zoning Appeals. So, any other board member have any other questions or comments to either to the applicant or to staff or to the members?
This is Bailey.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just,
Go ahead, Bailey.
just voicing that I agree with the path forward that Rich laid. If we approve it pending BZA approval, I think that's reasonable.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other comments? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to either approve the approve the building as is, on a condition that the applicant receives a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals. If he does get the zoning, okay, how's that? Like that.
This is John. I'll make that motion.
Okay, John, you're making that motion to approve the architectural review of the pre-manufactured building pending, and the condition is you must obtain approval from the Board of Zoning Appeals, correct?
That's correct.
For the distance. All right. I have a motion by John. I need a second.
This is Bailey. I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor made by John, seconded by Bailey, to approve the architectural review of the pre-manufactured building pending upon the applicant receiving a approval for a variance for the distance between the main building and the accessory structure. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Okay. Amy?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Daryl? Daryl?
May have
Unmute,
lost her.
Daryl. Here he goes.
I said yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Chairman?
Yes. Okay, sir, we have approved your accessory building pending upon getting approval from the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Okay, I will look for that application, send in ASAP.
I thank you very much, sir. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Okay. Under old business, we have section 6.13 and section 28. Do we want to discuss those tonight, or do we want to wait till maybe a little later? Richard?
Well, let's talk about section 6.13 first. Harley, have you given any more thought to that? Do we really need to do anything with that, or should we just leave it alone?
I personally really think we do. We have more variance applications coming in specifically for corner lots. I unfortunately still haven't been able to do the work on that. We have been swamped in the office. But it is on my to-do list.
Okay. Okay,
But I think we need to revisit that because we get too many variance applications and every one of them have been approved. So I think we need to consider adjusting that to be more accommodating to our people that own, our residents that own corner lots.
well, you know what though? Let me point out that all of the variance applications that we have received so far on corner lots have been approved. But in every one of those cases, there is good justification for that because if you look at the applications and the properties, those lots, with the way the fences were configured, do not really pose a line of sight safety danger or problem. There will be corner lots, however, that if somebody's fence configuration does somebody's fence configuration stands a good chance on a lot of corner lots of posing a dangerous line of sight safety issue. So either we have to come up with a better way to define what a line of sight safety issue is, or just leave this alone and leave it up to the Board of Zoning Appeals to identify situations which deserve a variance.
Yeah, and I definitely don't disagree with you. I think maybe there is a method that we could utilize, something similar to what is used in addressing overgrown hedges on roadways. I know a lot of municipalities, counties, even if there's a line of sight safety issue, and there is a measurement there. It's if you're pulling up and you can't see X amount of feet, you know, towards oncoming traffic. I don't know the verbiage off the top of my head, but I've seen it utilized enough times to know it exists, and we could probably incorporate something like that within, saying, you know, you can have a 6-foot fence, this is the setback, but you cannot create this specific line of sight safety issue. Cars coming and going from driveways or roadways have to be able to see X amount of feet in front of them to turn safely.
Okay, so basically you're saying you would really appreciate having some more time to try to get your thoughts wrapped around this and propose something.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, there you have it for section 6.13. If the
Okay.
commission were to recognize that Harley would like some more time on that, please let her know that.
Well, in my opinion, if Harlan needs more time to maybe we come up with something, or we find out we really don't need to change it, then I think we may. I think we can wait a month on 6.13. Anybody have an objection?
No,
No,
I think it's important we get it right.
Okay, so let's wait another month. So let's go with section 28, folks.
Oh boy. Okay, that's my baby. Guys, here's how it is. I don't think I'm going to make any progress on section 28 unless I can take about 8 hours straight just working on that section where I don't really get interrupted and stuff. Under the conditions that we're working in right now today, I can't get 8 hours straight. I can't even get a couple hours straight to work on this section. So if you're not going to be upset with me, I would ask you to keep this on the table, and I'm going to keep attempting to maneuver having enough time to give this full concentration without interruptions, so that I can come up with something that's at least workable, that you can look over and apart and question and digest.
Okay. Okay, Richard, I understand what your plight is. I can really vouch for that for my work. So if nobody has objections, we'll just table 28 until Richard has more time to see what he can come up with for us to look at. Any objection with that?
No.
No problem.
Okay.
No.
All right. Good. Thank you. Okay, we'll just keep 613 and section 28 on the old business till next meeting. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Next on the agenda is addressing the disposition of any closed public hearing. We had a public hearing earlier this evening on case hearing about section 11.1101G, case 20 DC04. We closed the public hearing. So we need a motion, if the board would like to have a motion to send to the trustees our text amendments for their round of public hearing and approval. Discussion.
I'll make a motion to send it on, but I do have one question.
Go ahead, Daryl.
What's the fee?
Oh, the fee. Oh.
Yeah, what's the fee? How much do we have to pay for the permit?
I am going to ask the trustees for $25.
Okay.
We're almost done.
I was just wondering how much, you were expecting to get in revenue for this.
Well, it's not necessarily meant to be a revenue generator, but
Yeah.
so that we can keep track of when buildings disappear from properties, and when houses disappear from properties and leave accessory structures. That's illegal. That's a violation. So it's important for us to know.
Yeah, I understand that. I just want to know what kind of fee was being thought of. That's all.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to send it on to the trustees with approval.
Okay, I have a motion to send it to the trustees for approval. I do have a second.
I'll second. This is Amy.
Okay, Amy, thank you. So I have a motion by Daryl, second by Amy, to have the case 1101 subsection G, new section, send it to the trustees for their review and approval. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, please. Roll call.
John,
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Haley,
Yes.
Chairman.
Yes. Okay. So that we've done that. Next thing on the agenda is inspector's report, if I'm not mistaken. So Richard, you're up.
What kind of a special report?
We are on zoning inspectors. Oh, items being held for public hearing. We don't have none. So the next one is a zoning inspector's report.
Oh, zoning inspector's report. Why don't I save you from being bored and just tell you we are swamped, guys.
Okay.
We are having a little bit of difficulty trying to keep up, right, Harley?
Yep.
Boy, that's
With
so
everything you're doing,
we are plugging away, and we are gonna manage our way through this. it's like really crazy. I'm trying to figure out what about this COVID thing, and I'm sure this is related to the COVID virus pandemic, that people have time and actually they have money, and they're spending their time and their money trying to improve their property because they have nothing better to do. You know?
Yep,
Yeah,
I understand that.
I just hope that as a society we figure out ways to manage this better than what we've been able to do so far. We were kind of caught off guard. Everybody, a lot of people are taking precautions. We're trying to figure this thing out. I think we will get it figured out. It's going to take some more time yet. In the meantime, whatever it takes for people to be happy and uh, enjoy their surroundings, you know, while we get this figured out, we're going to try to keep up with it. but it sure is a trip. This is this the level of busyness that we're experiencing right now. I haven't seen in the 10 years I've been on this job. But this
Okay.
is like
Okay, I'll just, inspectors and zoning inspectors reports will say they are very busy. All right.
Okay.
Okay, any other business, before the board?
You know what? I don't necessarily want to drag this meeting out, but just to kind of like keep you abreast of something. You know, a few years ago, like 2016, like 4 years ago, we went through the rezoning process for what is now the Fairway Pines development. Everything went through, everything's approved. They are now entering phase 3 of that development, and I believe there are 5 total phases planned. And as they are doing phase 3, there was a building, which was a former maintenance building for the golf course operated on that property, that the developer and the excavation contractor who is doing most of the improvements in that development believe might have some value over and above being demolished and having a entry exit roadway put basically in its place. So there is going to be some conversation about that. I don't know if it's going to come to a point where the zoning commission is going to be asked to revisit that as a rezoning point, because if this gets pushed, as the zoning inspector, I believe I'm going to have to determine that would be a major change to the zoning that's in place for that subdivision. So we would have to go through the rezoning process, but I'm only mentioning that to you so that if in your travels you're going down Bacon Road and go past that site, kind of take a look at the building. It is still in place. No decisions have been made. No real constructive conversations have taken place with the trustees at this point in time. But just to prepare yourselves, if you're going down Bacon Road, please pause a little bit, or slow down, take a look at the building and the subdivision as it is right now, and just to familiarize yourselves with it, just in case we get to that point where we have to discuss it in more detail.
Okay. Thanks, Richard, for that update. Anything else needs to come to the board? I got one quick thing, folks, and I don't want to belabor this either longer. Is the board's pleasure for August to be remote like we are now, or you want to even think about meeting at Township Hall?
I would be okay with meeting at the Township Hall.
Anybody else? Daryl or John?
I don't have a problem with us trying it at Township Hall. As long as
Okay.
things changed or there's no other changes coming between now and then.
All right. Daryl?
I think Daryl's muted again.
Daryl, hit that *6, I think, on your phone.
I did want to make one quick recommendation to y'all that we do have the ability to do a split between remote and in-person if we're made aware of it ahead of time.
Okay.
It wasn't
All right.
super hard to accommodate for the trustees, so I would imagine we could do the same for you.
All right, thank you. We might want Amy. Any thoughts about maybe going to Township Hall for August if it doesn't get the pandemic doesn't get worse?
If we have to stay on this, I need help getting into it because I can't see anything. I don't know what's going on from a visual point.
Yeah, I realize that, and that's why I'm thinking of maybe August we could go ahead and maybe have a meeting at Township Hall, unless something goes bad. Okay, so why don't we at the next meeting, which is August 10th, plan on being at Township Hall unless something else goes wrong. If no one, okay. If no one has an objection, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I think that we should be prepared and schedule for a hybrid meeting simply because as of right now, we are still limited to 10 people in a meeting.
Gotcha.
And if we have more people that want to join in, we'll have to turn them away from Township Hall if we exceed that amount. Or we could exit the meeting room and join from another room within the office to make space for any potential public attendees. But
okay.
Yeah, and this is Jeremy, and I would just echo what Harley said. I think at the very least it should be made available online, so you can, if there's any members of the public, if you have too many, if you have more than 10 coming, you want to make sure that they can still attend.
Okay, that'll be fine. I think we'll see what the agenda looks like, see what we have interest in the public, and we can make a determination from that standpoint. Okay? Harley, I think your point's well taken, and Jeremy, yours too. And we'll see how it goes with what we have on the agenda, and go from there. We may have to do a hybrid, or we may have to do what we're doing right now. Okay. Okay, folks. That's fair enough.
well, one more comment on that. I think no matter what's on the agenda, you never really know what's going to spark interest with the public.
True.
And
True.
I would rather us be prepared, because if we have public that want to attend and we haven't appropriately put out notice for a hybrid type meeting, they won't be able to attend, and anything that should be discussed in public will have to be put off.
Oh, I think Harley, I think if we do have a meeting and we do meet at Township Hall, I think with the IT people and what happened with the trustees, I think we would have a hybrid meeting, ability to call in or figure it out. Okay.
Okay, I just want to make sure that our legal notices go out.
No.
Correct.
Oh yeah. We'd have to make sure about that. Okay.
If we decide to go that way, I need some help.
Okay, no
because I
problem,
haven't
Daryl.
been able to click on this. Okay,
I understand.
okay, I'll get hold of them tomorrow. 'Cause it's almost
Okay.
my bedtime. Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, folks, like I
One-
said,
one more
we'll wait
thing,
to see how
guys.
this Go ahead.
Daryl and Ted, you guys are dialed in, so you don't have visual, right?
Right.
Correct.
Amy and Bailey, you do have visual. Jeremy, please make note if you have visual and say hi to Rachel Muro, our new zoning secretary.
Hello, Rachel.
Hello, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
But I'll say hi
Hello.
anyways.
Okay. Rachel, was it a great experience tonight?
Yes, yes, it was.
Okay.
Good. Well, welcome aboard, Rachel. And
Thank you.
okay, thank you. You're welcome. Like I said, what we can do later down the road, we'll see what we need to do. I agree. If we decided a face-to-face meeting, and obviously it would be a hybrid. We'd have to work on that with the proper legal notice. So I agree. So we'll work on that. So any other items have to be come to the commission?
Nope.
Hearing none, I'll go ahead. Entertain by acclamation adjournment.
So moved.
Oh, okay. We moved and second to adjourn the meeting. And folks, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a nice month. If we need to discuss anything more, Rich, we'll talk about it during the month. And folks, have a great evening. Thank you.
Okay, everybody stay safe.
Yep.
Good
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, folks. Bye-bye.
Night.